Is Kanisha Hay, and I'm with Texas Premier Realty. Today is going to be the first show of the Texas Real Estate Lady Show. We're at KRGN FM. That's in Killeen, Texas. If you would like to call in and have any questions or speak with us, our telephone number here is 254-432-8176. Once again, that number is 254-432-8176. Today we will be talking about the home buying process in real estate. So if you're looking to purchase a home, this is where you need to be to get information, and this information can be used throughout the country. It's not going to be just information just for Killeen area only. So if you are tuning in online, you'll see that this information will help you as well. And today we have with us Miss Betty Owens. She's going to be talking about the Credit Comeback campaign today. Ms. Betty Owens, could you introduce yourself?
Hello. My name is Betty Owens, and I am here all the way from High Point, North Carolina with Fearless Finances, and I am coming in order to launch the Credit Comeback. And that is my main goal is to get 1,000 families into homes during the rest of this year and the year 2018 by helping 1,000 families repair their credit.
Okay, Betty. And if someone wanted to contact you, how can they go about contacting you?
Okay, well, my number is area code 254-226-4192.
Okay. Betty, let me ask you, for the credit restoration, what is the process of someone rebuilding their credit?
Well, I always tell clients the first step that they should do is to actually look up what their current credit score is.
Okay.
Because a lot of times people are not aware where they stand at in the terms of their credit score.
Okay.
So a lot of times we never even check it unless we're going to buy something.
Right. And then that's too late.
Yes. Yes.
Agree. That's too late. So after they look up their credit score and they see that their credit score is about 540 and you're not purchasing anything at that score, what's the next process for them?
Well, the next thing is to call me.
Right.
Yes. So call someone that is in the field of restoring credit.
Okay.
And what they want to do is look at their credit report. You can actually get a free credit report printed off every year.
Okay.
So it won't count against your credit. It won't harm your credit score or anything. They allow you to get it printed out. And also they have apps like Credit Karma where you can log on and you can check your credit regularly for free.
Okay.
So a lot of times we have a lot of errors on our credit report.
Right.
4 out of 5 credit reports have errors on them.
Wow.
But since we don't check, we never really know what's going on. We know that identity theft is prevalent, but somehow we feel invincible that it can't happen to us.
Wow. Okay. 4 out of 5 of us have
errors.
Errors on your credit. And what are some of the errors you're talking about, like misspelled names?
Yes, it can be anything from your name to them having employment that you never actually, a place you never worked at before. They can have something as simple as an address that you never lived at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what came up one time for a friend of mine that had error on their credit report was their social security number was incorrect on that. Like, how can that be though?
Simply because we still have people that enter in the information. And a lot of times we just trust that people are going to put it in correctly, and we never take into account that they may be having an off day, they may be sleepy that day, they may be, frustrated or something that day, and just one digit, of course, in your social security number can throw everything off.
Okay, so let's say I have a cell phone, and underneath that cell phone carrier on my credit report, it's a derogatory account now, and my social on there is incorrect. Is that something that you guys will help come off?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, because for one, you have to go and see why they put your social security number in wrong.
Okay.
So that's the first thing, because that was something that was incorrect even before your credit report actually got it printed out.
Wow.
And from there, your phone and, you know, other utilities and things like that, we have to be mindful of what the cell phone companies are reporting on our behalf.
Okay.
Because they don't hardly report when we're paying on time. But if you miss a bill, that's going to show up, and it's going to show up in red or green or some type of bright color to draw your attention that, hey, you missed this payment. Or this is thrown off. That's why on credit reports it'll have 30, 60, or 90.
Right.
You know, and that's saying how many days you were late in that payment. And of course that counts against your credit score. But if your social security number is wrong to begin with, that's something that we have to go all the way back from the beginning and see who entered it wrong.
Oh,
and
wow.
you have to send in all type of documentation just to verify that it is you.
That it is wrong. And then once you guys find out that it is wrong, do it come off the people's credit or?
Yes, when it comes to your social security card. Now for bills that you actually did partake in, if it goes into collections, we actually can dispute that.
Okay.
So we can dispute it. A lot of times people don't realize that when things go into collections on your credit report, it doesn't belong to the company anymore. A privately owned company actually bought your debt.
Oh.
So they actually bought your debt, and now they're calling you so that they can get, you know, the money that you were supposed to pay to, let's say, Verizon. If you went default in your Verizon bill and now went into collections, it doesn't belong to Verizon anymore.
Okay.
That's why underneath, on your credit report, underneath that bill, it'll have a whole nother company. It have another company, it have another contact information, address, cell phone number. So it has a whole nother company because it doesn't even belong to Verizon anymore. So we actually can dispute that. Yes, they sold it.
Okay. Okay. So someone's credit has some bad information on it that's not theirs. Okay. And I know we were speaking earlier, and you say that you guys have attorneys that will look over their credit or send in the dispute letters.
Absolutely.
Is there a fee that they have to pay for this service?
There is, but I actually tell them to call me so that we can talk about what all is included in that.
Okay.
Because for one, I want to let them know, first off, how serious I am about other people repairing their credit, because I'm actually a product of what happens when you repair your credit.
Oh.
So I always carry on the front of my notebook, I carry a picture of the home that me and my husband live in now.
Oh.
Because when we first got married, we stayed in a 1-bedroom,
Gotcha.
1-bathroom apartment.
Got you.
And I was actually in so much fear of actually owning a home because I thought that would mean I would have to owe someone for the rest of my life. But I never took into account that I will actually be paying somebody else to pay off their mortgage
for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Okay.
And my husband, he kept trying to, you know, with love and with gentleness, he kept saying, you know, we need to own our own home. Right. But I was just like, I don't want that to be in my mind. I don't want that to be on my credit report. And I was in literal fear. And we went from a 1-bedroom. And then when we moved to North Carolina, we stayed in a 2-bedroom apartment because I thought that would keep him in peace. Like, at least we're moving up. So, but that 2-bedroom apartment ended up costing us $1,175 a month.
Girl.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was like, then I thought about it. I said, you know, that doesn't make sense. Because everybody I talked to said, you know, that's a mortgage payment.
Right.
And I was like, but at least if I move out of here, I'm still not going to have to owe anybody. But if I move out, I'm still going to need somewhere to stay.
Yeah. So
we actually moved into our home. And I carry the mortgage statement around with me all the time because it's only $975. My mortgage is less than what my rent was. So that's why when I'm dedicated to talking about people restoring their credit, it's because I'm a product of it.
You're a product of it. And it's amazing that you touched on that. That's why I'm smiling and laughing, because I like to tell people that your rent is more than your mortgage will be.
Yes.
Okay. On my website, I have a video on there that I did to tell people about home purchasing, and that it's better to purchase than to rent, because I have a client that I'm currently selling her house right now. She got a better job and she's moving away. She purchased a house for about $65,000, right? Okay. And her mortgage ended up being about $550 a month. Okay, right here in Killeen. A $550 rent place.
Yes.
Not too many people want to really live in a $550 rental.
That's right.
Okay?
That's very
because
true.
the landlord may not be taking care of that place
right. Yes.
up to par and
Yes.
stuff. The typical person is probably staying in an $800 rental.
Yes, absolutely.
And an $800 mortgage here in Killeen, that's about $100,000 house, $110,000 property.
It is.
Okay,
It
and
is.
that's your mortgage. That's your mortgage. That's your taxes, and that's your insurance.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and trust me,
Yes.
I understand exactly what you're
Yes.
talking about. I
Yes.
understand it, and that's everywhere. Like that rental amount is going to be more than the mortgage. One, whoever owns that property, they're marking it up.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
So if I live in Miami, Florida, because that's where I'm from, and I buy a property there, and my mortgage every month is $1,000, you think I'm going to rent it out to you for $1,000? That doesn't
That's
make
right.
sense.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. I'm going to need to make something off of it. One, because I need to build my bank account up
Yes.
for just in case any kind of damage happened to the
Yes.
property.
That's
I'm
right.
the landlord.
Yes.
I got to pay for those
Absolutely.
things to get fixed. So what sense would it make for me to charge you the same thing I'm getting charged for mortgage? So yes, it is wiser, in my opinion, to buy than to sit and rent. Now,
Yes.
if you're renting, I would say rent for a cause. Rent because you're building your credit.
Credit, yes, that's
Rent
right.
because you
That's
have a
right.
plan of action to purchase one day.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And that's what I would say. So we're going to go back to the building of credit, and I'm very interested in the 1,000 families in homes by 2018 movement. I'm so interested in that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I actually am from Chicago.
Okay.
And I'm from the west side of Chicago. A single mom. I'm actually a twin. So
Oh.
it was just my mom, me, and my twin sister.
Okay.
And, I have been, in apartments, my whole childhood.
Got you.
But my mom has always talked about wanting to own a home.
Got you.
And she still is not able to own just yet.
All right.
But when I see how dedicated she just wanted to have a home for her kids to grow up in.
Okay.
And a lot of times we take it for granted because we say it's just the American dream. We say it's the American dream, but we don't realize how many Americans really don't think that can happen for them.
Right.
They really
Right.
don't. And what I try to get people to understand is if you are having a salary job, if you are making a living for yourself, you're
Right.
able to own a home.
Right.
You will have to sacrifice a little.
Got
Because
you.
I shop a little bit less now that I
Right.
got the home
Mhm.
and things like that. But to know what it's bringing out on the latter end is always worth the sacrifice.
Mhm.
And so what I wanted to do was I don't care if it's single parents, if it's newly married couples. I actually saw a Facebook video of an 18 and 20-year-old that just bought a house. And they were two
Amazing.
brothers and they just bought a house together. So, and I was like, what kind of upbringing was
Right,
that
right.
to have in your mind at 18 that, I'm going to buy me a house.
Right.
When I was 18, I just wanted to go to the movies or go to the mall or something. So I'm like, it's a whole different generation
Right.
and a whole nother mindset. And a lot of times, our parents weren't able to own homes because they had to work 2 and 3 jobs
True.
just so that we can go to school.
True.
Or just so that we can have school clothes or school supplies. So now I'm dedicated to getting 1,000 families in homes all over the U.S., not
Okay.
just in Texas, not just in North Carolina, but all over the U.S. And that's why I'm calling it the credit comeback, because once you restore your credit, you will be surprised how much of a weight that will lift off of you. You would be surprised how well you can sleep at night.
Right.
How many marriages won't have to go through because
Right.
the finances are not a subject to argue over anymore.
Right. And where would they start with this process?
Okay, well, you actually start by, I always give people a credit consultation first.
Okay.
And that's absolutely free. I always do credit consultations first because I want to see where people are as far as their knowledge when it comes to credit worthiness.
Okay.
And also to see, what in their mind do they have set up for their families financially.
Okay.
Because a lot of times we just say, well, I know I want to retire or I want to retire in Florida. And then when you ask them, okay, well, what do you have, set up as in your retirement?
Right,
And it's,
right.
oh, well, I haven't quite got around to that
Good,
yet.
yeah.
Because when we're in our 20s or our 30s, we don't think about retirement
Right.
then. But then once 50 start knocking,
Yeah.
and it's like, now I got to save every dime I have
Right.
just so that I can, retire at 65. And so the credit comeback is it's for people of all ages,
Mm-hmm.
as young as 18 if they want to,
Right.
because now that I know 18-year-olds are buying entire
houses.
homes. Yeah,
Right.
so I'm excited to see, pictures with people with the keys in their hands, just all over the country. And just hashtag the credit comeback from signing up and getting their credit restored. It opens so many doors we don't even realize it.
That sounds amazing, and like I told you before, I'm excited about it. Yes. I would love to be a part of that, because I believe that anyone can purchase a house. Like you say,
yes.
You have your income coming in. You can purchase a property. And you have to start somewhere.
That's right.
And that somewhere is, let's take a look at your credit.
Yes.
Let's see where it stands. Let's see what we need to work on to fix your credit.
Absolutely.
To get it to where it is that you need to purchase a house. You have different types of loans that you can use to purchase a house.
Yes.
You have the VA loan, you have the FHA loan, and you have a commercial loan
that
you can use to purchase a house. Each one of those loans require a different type of credit score, a different number.
Oh yes.
I have lenders for a VA loan that they can do a 600. Some of them could even do a 580. However, it depends on what things you have on your credit.
Yes.
Okay. That would determine if they can do a 580 or not. Okay. For FHA loan, some lenders can do a 620 for you. Okay. And for a commercial, some lenders can go as low as a 640. Typically it's a 650, 660 for that loan. Okay. And we're, like I said, I'm going to break down all this that we're talking about throughout the venture of this show that I have going on, for the home purchasing. And I'm going to have a segment on home sellers. So sellers, if you're out there, we're going to talk about that too. But today we're going to talk about the whole home buying process. And I thank you so much, Betty, for coming in and sharing that credit part, because that is a very, very important part of purchasing a house. Contacting your agent, finding a great real estate agent to work with is great. Is great. However, you have to know that we're going to always come back to credit.
That's right.
Because unless you have that cash on hand to purchase that house, we have to make sure that your credit is in good standing in order to purchase a house. So, of course, yes, the first thing I would say is to let's get a relationship going with an agent. And a trustworthy agent at that.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Kanisha Hay. Is she?
Yes.
The Texas Real Estate Lady.com.
Yes.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And I will point you in the direction of people like Miss Betty to take a look at your credit and let's see what it is that needs to be restored in that credit. I also work with mortgage lenders that would take a look at your credit and see what is it that you need to fix on there? What is it that you need to leave alone?
Right. That's right.
Okay. That's a question I didn't ask you, Ms. Betty, which I'll ask you. Some things on your credit will fall off anyways in a certain amount of time. I believe some things are 7 years, some things are 10 years. Can you let us know about those things?
Yes. Well, actually, things like bankruptcies, they are supposed to fall off, but that's actually one of the number one errors that's on the report, because even when it's supposed to fall off, they don't go through and delete it. So because a lot of times if it stays on your credit report, it actually, they don't care if it falls off, if it doesn't fall off. So when we send dispute letters in, especially for bankruptcies that's been on for past 7 years, that's not even a question that's going to come off, because it's really due to the lack of them paying attention, because they know it was supposed to come off anyway. And they know it's supposed to come off. So the fact that it hasn't, and you send in, a dispute letter, that's something. And then as soon as that comes off, your credit score shoots up.
Wow.
And a lot of times I tell people, if you invest just a little bit and you're in a little bit of cash and a whole lot of seriousness,
right,
you will be surprised how your credit score can turn around just like that. A lot of times, and we want our credit score to jump up just by us wishing that it'll jump up. We don't want to actually work for it to jump up. And so when we see other people that we know that are getting into homes and buying new cars, then we, as the people say, we feel some type of way. But we don't realize how they were up late nights, looking at their reports and calling agents and, researching and doing things like that. And I'm glad that you said about the credit scores for the VA loans, because a lot of times veterans or active service members, they feel that just because we get the VA loan that we can just get a house. Like it doesn't matter what my credit score is. I'm just gonna go in there. I'm a service member. Give me a house, and it doesn't always work out in our favor. And then we feel slighted because we weren't able to get a house. Like, well, we get the housing allowance. Just give me the house. Clearly, I can pay for it. But if you don't have a track record of paying and being responsible, which is what a credit report is, it's showing how responsible and how accountable you are to the people that you that are giving you a service for, for cash, or a product for cash. And if you're not showing that you're responsible with what you already have, when you go to a realtor, they're going to say, well, we might have to look at some things. And that's just the truth of the matter.
And the track record that you were talking about, I love that analogy, because I tell people all the time that think of yourself as the lender, as the mortgage company. Someone comes to you and say, hey, Kenesha, let me borrow $100,000 from you. And I'm like, okay, on what grounds should I lend you $100,000? How can I trust that you're going to repay me this? And that's what the mortgage companies do with your credit. They look and say, well, you didn't pay so-and-so back, and you were late doing this and that. Nah, you're a risk.
Yes, that's true.
And the higher your risk, the more your interest rate is going to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Interest rate.
That hurts feelings.
Yes. Your interest rate. It's all about your credit score. So if you're coming here trying to get a house and your credit score is below, they're like, risk. Okay, so you have to show that track record that I'm responsible. Okay, no one is perfect, and they're not saying bring me your perfect, bring me your 800s and stuff like that. They're saying, okay, we're people, we make mistakes.
Yes, absolutely.
What's the comeback?
Exactly. The comeback.
What's the comeback?
Exactly.
Did this person learn from their mistakes?
Yes. That's
have they learned from their mistakes,
that's
right? And that's all I feel like they look for, because some lenders, my lenders, they'll say, okay, 6 months, come back in 6 months. But I need you to do this, that, and that.
Absolutely.
You come back in 6 months, and if you've done what these people have told you to do, 9 out of 10 times that credit score has went up.
Yep, that's right.
That debt to income ratio has went down.
Yes.
Okay? Because you've listened to what they've told you to do. Okay? You can't continue to go out and purchase this and be in everyone's store.
That's right.
Spending up all your money that you get.
That's right. And
then think that, okay, I'm going to go buy a house. That's just not how it goes.
No.
That's not how it goes. Let's spend that money on rebuilding that credit.
Yes.
And to say, I'm also a part of My Econ. Okay, My Econ. And with My Econ, it helps you build your credit also.
Yes.
And it gives you a financial backing of, okay, I made this amount of money. I have this bill, I have that bill, and allocate where these bills these payments need to go. Let's take our money and let our money work for us.
Yes,
they teach you investments also, and they teach you tax deductions. That's going to be a whole nother thing.
Excellent. That's excellent.
A whole nother thing on having a home-based business, but that's another day. We're going to talk about that, but we're still in the home buying process, okay? And your first step in home buying process is get with yourself a realtor, and then your realtor is going to direct your path with you, okay?
Yes.
I'm that type of realtor. I don't leave my clients. I don't leave them guessing what's the next step.
Right.
What's the next step? This paper I have in my hand, I give it to all my buyers when I first start with them, and I take them throughout the process, and I look them in their eyes, and I give them that trust of, trust me.
That's right.
I'm not going to leave you throughout the process. I've done this numerous of times, okay? I know you're scared. This is your first time. Or if it's not your first time, you haven't done it in a while. Just trust me. Just listen to me. And if you're eager to do this, you can do it.
Yes.
And I had a client, right? And Edwina, if you and your husband is listening, kudos to these two clients. Their credit was not on the great side, but she was determined. She was determined. And the lender told her it's going to be about a year.
Okay. Okay.
It's gonna be about a year. Okay, I'm wrapping up. It's gonna be about a year. And you know what? She took that year and she did exactly what the lender
See?
told her to do.
Yeah.
And she fixed the credit. And guess what? We end up selling her a property for $240,000.
Somebody who was ready.
1 year. 1 year she
That's
took.
excellent.
And she was determined.
That's excellent.
Okay? So first part of your process, let's get your credit in order.
Please,
okay?
please.
Get your credit in order. And I thank everyone for tuning in to the Texas Real Estate Lady Show. You can find me at www.txrealestatelady.com. That's txrealestatelady.com. And thank you again, Ms. Betty Owens, for coming
Yes.
into this show, letting us all know about the credit movement that you got coming
Yes, absolutely.
and doing right now.
Yes.
You can just say a final word.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me here, and I'll be here in Texas for the rest of the week. So just call me at 254-226-4192 if you want to set up an appointment and get your credit restoration process started.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Betty. And once again, this is the Texas Real Estate Lady Show. That's the Texas Real Estate Lady Show.
Yes.
All right, y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back right here on KRGN 98.5 The Rock. I just want to give y'all this song, and we're going to explore a little bit more into the Texas Real Estate Lady and Fearless Finances with me, Ron Grace, when we get right back.